These big law firms offer 225 grand a year. It's more than we pay our federal judges, more than we pay any judge in this country, other than maybe the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Straight out of law school. Why are we just letting students take those jobs without giving them information? Well, you can go take that job. It is very unlikely you'll get very much experience. You'll be 2 to 3 years down the line, and now it's going to be, call it 2030, 2031 for you that are currently in law school. And if you take that big law job, what is the legal profession going to look like in 5 to 7 years? And where are you going to fit in it if you have no experience because you went to big law? So, like, no one told me, and it persists today. No one is telling these students, and these law schools are allowing this process to move earlier and earlier and earlier. I think it's predatory. It's what I think. It's terrible. Which, by
That
the way, I've
actually,
been trying to be an evangelist on this online and elsewhere. I don't know if you've seen.
I can tell, but I like it. I like the fight. The I do wonder then, given what you just said, do you think people should get a job out of law school, or do you? This is more for people that want to start their own firm. Do you think it's important to have some experience and go get a job somewhere, not maybe not big law, but somewhere prior to opening their firm, or do you think that someone could open their firm straight out of law school in whatever practice area that?
I think it's going to be really hard for, well, it really, I guess it all depends, right, Tyson? If you want to be a criminal defense lawyer, that's probably something in a lot of places where you might even be able to accomplish that straight out of law school, only because I think there's enough demand. And then it comes down to economics. You'd have to probably charge some below market rate to get your experience. I don't know that that's the ideal path to do what I do, or to eventually do what I do, which is like kind of complex civil stuff. I don't know that I would advise that because, candidly, like, again, back, I keep mentioning my book, but if you go back to the 19th century, all lawyers were trained according to the apprentice method, right? That's how Abraham Lincoln learned. He went, practiced with another lawyer, got his sea legs, and then took the bar, right? And so in the 1870s, these two idiots from Harvard and Yale, the deans, got together and they're like, yeah, so this apprentice approach, that's a lowbrow way to do this. We're going to do this the Ivy League way, and we're going to academically train our lawyers, which is basically the system we have today. And it is entirely theoretical, entirely academic, and it's totally impractical, and it's taught by people that literally didn't live in the real world. And so when you then say, okay, that's the method by which you're going to train as a lawyer, and now you're going to go out on your own and try and do it without having been under someone else's wing, I think that's like a very tall order. Can I exclude the possibility that like somebody could actually do it? I'm sure. And so, there probably have been people that have done it. I don't think it's the ideal way to do it. You've got to learn from someone.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree
that's
with
the way
you.
this works.
I agree with you. I didn't know that about the history of that. And it's interesting to me because the medical profession, they still do apprenticeships. They don't call it that, but they still do that whenever it comes to their medical training. It makes no sense why. And there are some states, I think, I'll probably get this wrong. I think New Hampshire is one of them. They have, you can become a lawyer through some sort of apprenticeship program. There's some state that does it, that you can do it that way. So I think it seems to me that law schools are placing more value on the experience part of things. A lot of people have been advocating shortening the amount of years for law school and then adding some sort of apprenticeship component, which I would be completely fine with. I think that would be pretty effective.
I think you're right. I think
Yep.
2 years is more than enough for academics. I also think you're right that medical school does it way better because not only does medical school force what you're talking about, but you've got to choose 4 6 month rotations in medical school. So you have to do like surgery and, dermatology and emergency room or whatever. But you at least are forced to choose 4 things. Let's compare that to this jumbo bullshit that law schools are letting happen every day starting in your first year of law school. By definition, you don't have four, you have one and only one. And so that's going to be your job offer. And if you don't take that job offer and you're now like see the light and you're a third year law student and you're out interviewing, you're damaged goods. You're the person who doesn't have a date and tonight's the prom and you're just going to have to take any suitor you can get. Like that's the way it works. And it's unfortunate.